Yes, thank you. My name is Daniel Blockert and I'm the ambassador of Sweden. Unlike my Australian colleague, I do not speak Bahasa Indonesia yet, but I've just started. I came here 2 months ago. First of all, the new sneakers from Urban Sneaker Society look very good. So that's something that should go on social media. I have a question on the OECD commitment from Indonesia. You recently applied to become a member of OECD. It's probably going to be a complicated negotiation and it will require some reforms, I guess. So it would be interesting to know, is that something that you will push for if you become president, or how high is that on your priority agenda?
Terima kasih, Excellencies. Jadi terkait dengan OECD ya, tentu karena kita sudah mendorong, kita akan dukung Mbak. Kita akan dukung, kita akan dorong, biarkan proses itu berjalan. Kami berbincang dengan para diplomat terkait dengan OECD ini, untuk kita bisa melanjutkan proses itu sampai pada titik yang kita harapkan. Karena ini juga penting sekali bagaimana kita mengembangkan ekonomi di OECD ini dan kita bisa mendapatkan manfaat yang sama. Ada banyak sekali kerjasama yang sudah kita lakukan dengan banyak negara, apakah itu bilateral atau multilateral. Dan ketika tawaran-tawaran di OECD ini bisa memberikan kemanfaatan bersama untuk kita akan dorong Pak. Biarkan sekarang ini proses berjalan sampai pada titik kesepakatan yang nanti didapat.
Thank you. The gentleman here, please.
Alip, I am ambassador of Turkey. I have arrived a couple of months ago here, actually. Thank you for the opportunity. My question is about your first map that you have shown here. In the first map that you have shown, the conflict areas actually, in order to highlight the interconnectivity. When there is a conflict somewhere else, it will influence your economy, your domestic politics, like food security, energy security. In this context, also you have said that you would like to pursue active foreign policy. What would be your view on the calls for reforming UN in that particular context? Because when we look at the current conflicts, they go on and on, and there's a lot of criticism of UN that there must be something to be done on the UN. I would like to have your idea on this one. Lastly, you also talked about, the visa issues, that you would like to have more and more, I think, connections with the world outside. I just would like to inform you that nationals, citizens of Indonesia can come to Turkey without visa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Free visa ya. Thank you so much. Ya, kalau kita melihat peran PBB, boleh ditayangkan ya gambarnya ini. Saya kira Pak Duta Besar sudah melihat ini. Sengaja saya kasih gambar ini untuk memberikan tekanan kepada kita semuanya. PBB tidak bisa berbuat apa-apa. Dewan Keamanan juga sama. Maka perlu inisiatif-inisiatif yang kita lakukan. Inisiatif itu menjadi penting untuk kita berbicara. Dalam konteks itu, seperti yang terjadi dalam relasi politik. Kita akan melobi banyak negara untuk membicarakan bahwa itu penting dan jangan dibiarkan. Karena perang konflik itu yang rugi adalah orang-orang sipil. Mereka menjadi korban, tidak ada orang yang perhatian. Ya, sekarang beberapa negara yang sedang berkonflik, di televisi sekarang saya melihat banyak sekali tontonan, kepedulian itu mulai muncul. Tapi PBB harus mengambil sikap itu. Maka di mana peran negara? Negara harus aktif. Kita besar kami di beberapa negara atau di PBB atau Menteri Luar Negeri kami, bisa kita minta untuk melobi satu persatu negara untuk menunjukkan apa sebenarnya yang terjadi. Perang, konflik hanya menimbulkan korban, berikutnya menimbulkan kemarahan dan dendam yang tidak berkesudahan. Padahal kita ingin dunia kita bebas dan kita mesti saling menghormati. Maka beberapa penyelesaian di konflik itu harus melibatkan dua negara yang berkonflik. Dan kita bisa mengambil inisiatif itu. Indonesia umpama ketika kita bicara G20, keketuaan G20 katakan. Pada saat itu kenapa juga kita tidak melakukan sebuah komunikasi sekalian untuk membicarakan problem-problem yang memang diselesaikan ketika kita dipercaya menjadi pimpinan di situ. Dan saya kira inilah yang kami katakan sebagai keaktifan dari politik luar negeri kita untuk bisa mengambil inisiatif itu. Jadi beberapa negara yang berkonflik juga pernah ditawarkan oleh negara yang lain agar kemudian bisa ada proses perdamaian, duduk bersama dan negosiasi. Dan ketika itu tidak berhasil, maka seringkali orang diam. Maka dengan keaktifan dalam perdamaian dunia dalam konteks politik luar negeri kita mesti mengambil inisiatif itu. Lobbynya mesti serius, mesti tekun dan terus menerus. Inilah yang mesti kita sampaikan. Dan terkait dengan visa, terima kasih. Rasanya kita harus pergi ke Turki ini.
Thank you very much. My name is Yasir Ali, Ambassador of Sudan. I'd like to thank you for the elaborative and very interesting presentation. And you've mentioned about the spirit of Bandung. So I'd like to know your policy towards Africa. This is give a very good gesture to us as African. And from a perspective of achieving the food security for Indonesia, for example, as you know, Indonesia is aspiring to achieve food security, and there is a huge opportunities to cooperate with some African countries which has a lot of resources to cooperate with you to achieve that. And also African aspiring to have sort of cooperation, especially in the technical and capacity building. We have noticed that many Asian countries like from the ASEAN are having very active role with Africa, and I think Indonesia to some extent needs to exert more effort. I noticed this during my period as an ambassador in Tanzania. I saw many ASEAN countries are very active with Africa, but Indonesia, I think, needs to be more active in that regard. The other part, what about the plan for the BRICS? Do you have any plan to, if you are elected, to be part of the BRICS? Thank you.
We'll take the other question. There was a gentleman at the back before I answer the question. Did you raise your hand, please? Microphone, tolong. Thank you.
My name is Kanasugi Kenji, Ambassador of Japan. This is not so much to do with diplomatic strategy, but people say that democracy in the world is declining. And during your presentation, you seem to suggest that democracy in Indonesia is on the downside. And if so, how are you going to redress the situation? How are you going to rectify domestic politics in this country? Thank you.
First of all, Pak Dubes Sudan, His Excellency, Africa is the future. This is a continent of the future. You have large number of young generation, definitely. And if you look at not only the demography, but also on potential development cooperation, it's tremendous. And it's true that we have not paid enough attention to Africa. We have not paid enough attention. I think we need to improve our awareness toward the fruits of cooperation between Indonesia and African countries. And we can start from countries that is more relevant to our need and that is relevant to what we can contribute to yours. And perhaps Sudan is one of the closest of all. in terms of all African countries. So the approach will be rather similar. That's why I mentioned when Pak Dubes Italy raised earlier about what are you going to do with the relationship with EU, my response is a generic approach that needs to be done to other regions, including Africa. We need to sit down, do assessment. And on top of that, I think it's time for us to be more serious in bringing in Indonesian business leaders, Indonesian business community into a particular country and push and assist them to have investment, business activity in African countries. The opportunity, as you said, you are seeing businessmen coming in from all over Asia, but not Indonesia. And I suspect one of the reasons is we are ourselves in government is not out there being proactive in offering support and help toward those who are interested on doing business in the region. So that's one. With BRIC, I don't think we're interested on joining BRIC. That would be brief, Pak. Now, with regard to Pak Dubes Japan on quality of democracy can translate into various different indicators, Pak. Even the definition of democracy, there is no less than 500 definition of what is called democracy. So translation into that is numerous. But I think issue number one that needs to be brought back is to restore trust into institution of democracy. Restoring trust into the institutions. Be it constitutional court, be it the parliament, be it all others, restoring institution, that's one. And how do we do that? One is appointments and code of ethics that is seriously upholded. And it has to start with example. Top leadership needs to show commitment on upholding ethics. If top leadership compromise on ethics, then the rest will even go further. Number two, revising some of our law that has restricted freedom of expression. And we have seen some of our laws being used to suppress freedom of expression. And even today, the Undang-Undang ITE itu apa bahasa Inggrisnya, Pak, Mas Andy? Apa? The cyber law, for example. The cyber law has been so flexible in indicting almost anyone if they have expressed some criticism. Even criticism not toward government, even criticism toward other entity of non-state. You can be charged and you can be prosecuted. And I think we need to revise some of that to ensure freedom of expressions. And number three is, which is not less important, is combating corruption in a serious way and addressing the upstream, the core of why corruption is happening, especially on policy making. Political financing has not been reformed for the past 25 years. We reform our electoral system, we reform our party system, we reform central and local government relationship, we reform presidency and other national bodies of the state, but we did not reform how political process, how political party, how campaign is being financed. Without addressing that issue, we will always trap with various derivatives of corruptions, which is now are seeing. So quality of democracy is not only being judged by the electoral process, but also by the quality of delivery of democracy itself, and also by ensuring that principle of good governance is present. So that would be the agenda. This is big, may not be complete in a year or two, but if we don't start by expressing our commitment, outlining the plan, and making it public, then we will not be able to achieve all of that. And I think that one of our commitment to be done if authority is being given. Power is still in the land of in the people, but authority that can be given to any one of us. Terima kasih, Pak.
Terima kasih, Pak Anies.